Hello, everybody. We're going to do some. Well, I'm not even doing that, I swear. I don't know how that happened. Anyway, let's get to work. I hope you saw that too. I am getting old. Okay, so let's start with dominant sevenths. And I'll reopen this. Okay, this one. I'm just going to focus on. You guys can figure out how to spell stuff. Just going to focus on this stuff. Okay, so we're just doing two notes here. So we're in G minor, and I think, is it right that everything's going to be a 5 chord going to a 1 chord? You're practicing resolving tendency tones from dominant 7th chord in the appropriate directions. Okay, so we know, I'll let you see me for a second. There's going to be 4 notes in the dominant 7th chord: scale degree 5, scale degree 7, scale degree 2, scale degree 4. We can think of that as sol, ti, re, fa. Sol, if it's a 5 chord going to a 1 chord, is probably going to go to tonic if they're in root position. And I think we can assume that in this exercise. But this exercise, that I don't think that matters. Ti is always going to go to do. Re can go either direction. Fa is always going to go down to mi. So these are your two tendency tones. Fa goes down, mi goes up, or ti goes up to do. So here we're in G minor. We have F sharp and C. The chord altogether is D, F sharp, A, C. So a D dominant in the key of G. F sharp is going to go up to G. And C is going to go down to B flat. And we can play it. And we can check it. Ooh, we're right. Should we do this one? D major. In the key of D major, the 5/7 chord is A, C sharp, E, G. So the tendency tones are the C sharp is the leading tone, it's going to go up. The G is the 7th, it's going to go down. So we can take those G down to F sharp. And this A can go either up to D or down to D. I'll take it down to D. And that should work. Let's play it first. Check it. All right. Okay. Now we're practicing doing the resolution of the whole chord. So you're thinking using that same logic as before, but now you're doing the whole chord. We're in C sharp minor here. We're going to eventually go to a 1 chord. I'm going to spell the 1. Maybe I won't spell it. I could spell it entirely first. Let me pencil in that I'm going to go there in the bass. So I'm going to go 5, 1. And I can spell this 5 chord any way I want to. So I'm just going to spell it. I'm going to spell it not. Okay, here I'll do the standard way first. So C, B, sharp. Right? That has to be the leading tone, raised leading tone in C minor, C sharp minor. So what is the half step below C sharp? It's B sharp. Looks like a C on the piano. So that guy is going to go there. Leading tone's going to go there. I will go ahead and put the D sharp here. And let's come back to this note and see where we want it to go. And the one remaining note is going to be the 7th of the chord. And the 7th we know has to go down, so that's going to go there. Now we can just say, oh, okay, what other, where can this middle voice, the alto, go? The alto can go up to E. It can go down to C sharp. If she goes up to E, we've doubled the E. And that's a perfectly fine solution. Let's play it. And let's check it. I think Artusi should say it's okay. Yeah. But alternatively, we could take her down to C sharp. So now there's 3 people on C sharp and 1 person on the 3rd, and there's no one on the 5th, and that's perfectly fine. Listen. And let's check it. So either of those is fine. We might think, oh no, we don't have a G sharp in there. We don't have the fifth of the chord. If we want to, we could take the tenor down, and as long as I've got the settings right, it will allow us to spring the leading tone. That's what this is called. So that's another possible solution. Let's play it. And so the tenor is going T, and it's not going up to Do. It's going T, Sol. That's only okay because it's in an inner voice. But let's check it. And they let us do that too. Let's do one more of these, and I just want to show you, like here I did it root, third, fifth, seventh of chord, and you really just don't have to always do that, and I encourage you not to do that, just for practice sake. So let's spell this as, we'll do root in tenor, we'll do seventh. Oh, that's wrong, sorry. Let me start over. Erase. Clear answer. Okay, good. In the bass. Sorry, I have to start on the 5 of F. So I'm in F. I want to spell a C, E, G, B flat chord. And so I'm going to spell C. And I'll put the B flat here, like I said, in the tenor. I was going to do that just to spice things up. In the alto, I'll give the fifth, and then there's one remaining note, C, E, G, B flat, so I'll put the E in the soprano. And now I just have to follow the tendency tones. The E is the leading tone. Should I always start with the bass? Let me always start with the bass. I don't know. I don't have to always start with the bass, but I'm going to go from there to there. And if I wanted to, I could go from C down to low F. That doesn't matter. That's not a tendency tone, but it's like the bass has to go from root position 5 to root position 1, right? So it has to go from a C to an F. This B flat is the 7th of the chord. 7th has to go down. This G is not a tendency tone. It could go either way. The E is the leading tone. It has to go up, and especially because it's in an outer voice, it has to go up. And then this G, we can go either direction. Let's see what we have in our chord. We have F, A, something, and F. It could go down to F. It could go up to A. Either way is going to be fine. Going down to F is a little bit better because it's sort of better to have a tripled root than a doubled third. But that's probably just mostly superstition. But it's perfectly fine to go down to F. It's fine for the alto to go up to A. You might be thinking, oh, we want a fifth in this chord. So let's just try it. If you try to make the alto leap, remember one of our rules is to move as little as possible between notes. And the bass is an exception. Bass can move by fourth, but here the alto, if we try to get her to move that far, what is the problem? The problem is we now have more than an octave between adjacent upper voices. Let's just check to see if they catch that. Right, okay. So, and we also have, thank you, Artusi, we also have parallel fifths. So C to G, going up to F to C. Let's try it with the alto going down to C. Now we don't have parallel fifths, we have contrary fifths. And, depending on how I wrote the settings, maybe they'll catch that as illegal or not. But we now have more than an octave between these adjacent upper voices. Let's check it. Right, so they're pulling out that they're not parallel fifths, they're contrary fifths. They're moving in contrary motion, but it's still a fifth. Oh, yeah. And this has too much space. It's more than an octave. Let's listen to it. So the only thing you could maybe hear there that's like kind of bad, quote unquote, is that it's kind of muddy in this range and there's a lot of space there. You can kind of hear it. Listen. And if I do lead this guy up to here instead, let's see if it sounds bad, if it sounds like these guys are really far away from these guys. Yeah, that chord sounds a little weird. It sounds a little bit like it's missing its middle. And also, you can't really hear the parallel fifths there. Listen. Right, though you can't, I don't know why this 10th is the size of the interval. But yeah, you can't hear the parallel fifths very well. They don't jump out as being wrong, but technically it's wrong. So what do we do with the alto? We just either bring her down to F, or we can bring her to A. And you can hear a tiny bit of whoa, 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 whoa. Listen there at the A's. I think what you're hearing is the two A's. I don't actually know why they jump out as much, but listen, just for fun. Versus if I take her down to F. There's a little bit of whoa, 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 but it doesn't jump out as much. Okay. Let's do these in first inversion. So basically the same thing is going to happen. We just have to pay attention to bass notes now. So in the bass, we're going from 5, 6, 5 to 1 in E flat. So I'm going to put in my bass note for 1. And in the 5 chord is B flat, D, F, A flat. I'm going to show you my fingers. Ta-da! See if we can get the fireworks to happen again. Okay. B flat, D, F, A flat. And this guy is in the bass. So snowman, feet, torso, head, hat. It's the torso. Feet, torso, head. Yeah. So it's torso that's in the bass for 5, 6, 5. For a 6, 5 chord. So in the bass, I want a D. That's the leading tone. Bum, 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 bum. And now I just need to fill in the other notes. I'll put the B flat here. Bum, bum. Okay. And, presumably I can just let that B flat guy stay. But I want to point out that this is T, T, Do, and then we have Sol, Sol, and we need T, so we have T, we need a Fa, T, Re, and Fa. So I'll go Fa, let's do Fa on the alto, and then Re, Re. Oh, can't do that. I made a mistake. Aren't you proud of me for making a mistake? Well, I've doubled the leading tone. Watch, if we do, well, I'm not going to do check right now because they'll say it. But I want a B flat, a D, an F, and an A flat. So I need the F up there. Okay, tendency tones. This guy, T, Do. This guy, the 7th of the chord. Note that it's a 5th above the bass, but it's the 7th of the chord, the chordal 7th. So 7th wants to go down. So in the alto, that A flat's going to go down to this guy. And this F can go either up to G or down to E flat. So let's again follow this rule of, oh, here we're doubling the root. So that's the ideal thing to do. We've got an actual 5th because it's hanging over from there. We've got a complete chord, E flat, G, B flat, E flat. Complete chord with the root doubled. That's great. In this chord, we've got a complete chord, B flat, D, F, A flat. 7th is going down, leading tone's going up. Everyone else is moving by step. So we've checked all that stuff. Like, I really advise you to check all those things yourself even before you listen to it, but before you check it. Let's listen. So if you want to think about this, we had a 5 chord that's going bum, 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 going to bum, 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 and then bum, 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 but the bum is in the bass, so that gives us bum, 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 and then da-dum, da-da, and then da-da, la-da. Okay, we did it. Just going to point out one last thing, then I'll let you go. In this case, we're in minor. We just have to remember to raise the leading tone. So let's do, we need to do one of the other ones too. We'll do a different one in minor. So when you get here, your bass line though is going to look like this. That's an F sharp. This guy is going to be T, Do to this. F sharp is here. We want T. We don't want Te. We want T, Do. Right? So you're building your chord with that. The chord is C, E sharp. You're just going to write in these notes. C sharp, E sharp. This is a weird way to do it. G sharp and B. That's what that chord looks like, but E sharp is in the bass. And I'll go ahead and just finish this. I'll put the 7th here in the tenor. In the, I'll do soprano next. Yeah, okay. Do soprano here. And then she can stay. And then alto. The missing note appears to be a G sharp. We found you, G sharp. And the alto can go down to F sharp, or she could go up to A. And I'm just double checking with parallels, and either one works. So let's go here. It's best to double the root if we can. Okay. And it sounds just as good as if we put the alto here. There's one thing we cannot do, and I'm just going to, show you just for fun, is the soprano can often, if soprano's on the 5th, here, it's the root of the 5 chord, but it's the 5th of the scale, it can often go down here, but that doesn't work if you've got another voice that's going, if you've got the 7th of the chord in a different voice. So this will give us direct octaves, and it's not, the direct octaves we don't have to pay attention to that much in, once we're in 4-part writing, but this doesn't work. So let's listen to it first. So the soprano's going Sol, May, and the tenor's going Fa, May, right? So they're both basically coming down onto May. And I think it will give us an error message. Oh. It didn't give us an error message, but I'm just going to point that out for now. So that means that, when I'm giving you tests, I won't make it illegal. But I did want to point that out. You usually don't do this. So that's why we're keeping the soprano here. Let's. Okay, great. I'm just going to show you very quickly how to think through these other guys. In this case, it's the same exact thing. We already did one in E flat. Let's do this one that's in A flat. We're going from a 5-7 chord in 2nd inversion to a 1 chord in 1st inversion. So I think it's good to have a little scratch paper next to you. Let me just pause and show you. Scratch paper. Ignore all this. I'm going to write on it. But give me 1 second. Okay. Right here. In A flat, we got a 5-4-3 going to 1-6. Right? Good. Now what I did is I put what's hard? Okay, I put 5-7 chord just in block formation, and then a 1 chord. And now I want to put the 5-7 in 2nd inversion and the 1 in 1st inversion. And I'll do both of those. Okay. Now, what I did... Okay. I put the 5... It's a little blurry, but I put the 5 in 2nd inversion. Just still block formation again, right? The notes as close as together as you can get them. And then going to 1-6. And now what I want to pay attention to is, now when I'm going to voice lead this, all these voices can be jumbled up, but the G is the leading tone of this chord, should go to the A flat. The 7th is D flat, should go down to C. So, I know that my bass line, I'm going to do that first. My bass line should have B flat in it, because that is the 5th of the 5 chord. B flat going to C. That's the 3rd of the 1 chord. Okay, then so I could do it. I'm gonna go ahead and just sketch in these voices, and really I can do them in any formation as long as the spacing is good. Uh, the notes I want are E flat, G, a B flat, which I've got, and D flat. So um, I'm gonna do the soprano first. E flat, G. I'm gonna put G in soprano. She's the leading tone, and she's gonna go up to A flat. So G. I need an E flat and I need a D flat. So let me just do alto. I'll do alto on D flat. And I'll do tenor on E flat. To check my spacing, because this looks big, but it's less than an octave, so it's fine. It's not even a whole octave. Leading tone's going to go up, seventh goes down. This guy can stay on E flat. That would give me C, E flat, C, A flat. So that's fine. So tenor can stay on E flat. If I was worried about, like, the spacing is a little bit bottom heavy, I might want to bring that up here, and I just have to check for parallels, but it's sleeping a fourth. This guy's going up. They're both going to A flat, but that's okay. This guy's moving by step. This guy's going down. This guy's moving up, but so the only perfect interval in this, yeah, is just this A flat to A flat. So we are fine. Should work. Let's listen. Can hear the bass is going la dum, so we're in A flat, da 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 dum. The bass is going re mi, and then we have sol do, and we have fa mi and di do. Listen again. It's muddy in here, so if I was really gonna worry about this, I mean, we can check it. It's fine. But the reason it sounds bad is I should instead do this. And then I'm going to have to change this voice to E flat, E flat. Okay, that's going to be better, and it's great to double. We've got two C's, but we're doubling the bass. And that's a great thing to do, as long as they're not the bass of a 5/6 chord. So let's listen again. Yeah, that's so much better. You can really hear the re, mi, and then all these guys are up here together. Let's check it. Okay, so then when you get to third inversion, you can figure it out. Same thing. The seventh of the 5 chord is always going to be in the bass. So we're in B flat. The 5 in B flat is F. And therefore, to spell an F dominant chord, F, A, C, E flat, the E flat is going to be in the bass. And that's going to go down. The 7th of the chord always goes down. So in a 5/4/2 chord, the bass note always goes down to the 3rd of the 1 chord. Bottoms, all right. So, and then, I know I keep saying I'll let you do the rest, but let's just put the F, and then the other notes, da, 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 dum. So let's just spell this in. It's getting a little low, but and then soprano, just to make it as simple as possible. F, A, C, E flat, D, F, F. We need this to be a 1 chord in B flat, D, F. So A is the leading tone. It's going to go to B flat. And the C can go C, B flat, or I can go C, D. And I just have to check that that works. Yeah, and it's going to a 1/6 chord. So going to D, we're doubling the bass of the 1/6. And that should be nice. Let's listen. Okay, that should be totally fine. Okay, that's all for now. I know that was the assignment for last week. I'm going to reopen that to be due at the end of spring break, and then I'm going to make 2 more videos like this later, probably today. It might not be today, but I'll extend all the deadlines so that they're at the end of spring break. But I'll make you more videos so that you can see how to do this with the 7 fully diminished chord and the other seventh chords, the non-dominant seventh chords. Okay, hope you're having fun. Hope this is helpful. You can tell I'm feeling better. In case you didn't recognize me, this is my disguise. You know, if I walk down the street and everybody knows I'm a music theory professor, like here I obviously, it's like I'm in my superhero costume.